Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another busy day on the channel. We're going to get things started here early this afternoon with a little NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. It is a NASCAR National Busch Series event as it is race number 13 of 34 on the season. It is a CarQuest Auto Parts 300 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, now known as, of course, as the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to get us started for a triple header of action on the channel today. We have this Busch Series race here, and then after this, we'll have the predictions live stream for the Watkins Glen race that will be later this afternoon for the NASCAR Cup Series, followed by our live commentary of the actual Cup race itself. So I'm hoping dearly that I don't lose my voice over the next few hours because it is going to be jam-packed of action, both for ourselves virtually and even in real life for NASCAR coming back from their 2-week break for the Cup Series here today. Welcome everybody into the stream here. Kyle the King fan, R6R6 Oni, welcome to the stream. Lots of videos today. Indeed, this is going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get things started. But before I start, I do have to mention something that happened with the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode once again. Obviously, I stated last week when we were supposed to run the Charlotte Roval race on Monday, literally 7 days ago, the game had crashed. I got it caught up this morning, and what it did is I logged on. I was going to qualify at like 10:30 this morning for the race. Uh, I was about to qualify, so what I jumped into the screen, same spot that I was in last Monday when I caught everything up, and it had crashed again, sent me back to the home screen, and again sent me back to the Pocono races. So I said, forget it, because I have spent today, between yesterday and then on Thursday, a combined 2.5 hours to get that career mode caught up, to get that race going for you guys today instead of doing this Busch Series race on NASCAR 05. But because the game crashed again and set me back again, I said, screw it. I am not going to go through another 2.5 hours of simulating races. I'm just not going to do it. It's monotonous. I shouldn't have had to do it in the first time, but I did it for you guys. We are still going to finish the career mode, but it won't actually be on the actual career mode itself. We're just going to go into race now and finish out the last 5 races of the season. Now, I know it's not going to be completely accurate. We had a 90 overall race car. So to say that we were going to have as competitive of a car as what we're going to have in the race now mode would be an understatement, because at least in race now, it's kind of as if we have 100 all the way around. But I still want to finish it. I still want to finish it out. We'll use our custom car to finish out the rest of the season there. Actually did qualify for the Charlotte Roval, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the full race in by the time I got that ready. I was going to be pushing it as it was. I expect that race to be about 3 hours. Obviously, we have less than 3 hours before the start, about really 2.5 hours or less before the start of the race today. So we're going to do this race today instead. We will run the Charlotte Roval 100% guaranteed tomorrow on the channel for the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. But again, it's not going to be the actual career mode. I had to do the points myself anyway from the game crashing the first time this season. I think that's the 3rd time it's now crashed. And, well, 4th, I guess, technically, that it has crashed on the career mode, and 3 of which have been in the last week and a half now. So I'm tired of simulating races. I had to simulate 2 hours worth to get to the Bristol night race about a week and a half ago, and then when it crashed again on Monday, between Thursday and today combined 2.5 hours to get caught up to the Roval now in the playoffs. So it's just ridiculous. Again, it takes like way too much time out of my day that I don't have. With me doing that today and wasting that time, I could not go golfing. So I am here with you guys right now instead of doing this race after the Cup race later on tonight. So we'll do it before. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Sorry for that spiel at the beginning, but I know you guys have been asking questions about when's the Charlotte Roval, when is the career mode going to return for NASCAR Heat 5. Trust me, if it was in my best power, we would have done it last Monday when we were originally going to, and then today would probably be about Texas or Martinsville, so we'd be almost done with it, but now we're like a week behind, so I'll get that to you guys tomorrow night. But for right now, the Busch Series is about to begin. Kevin Harvick is going to be on the pole, and I'm going to have to hang on. Got to go into OBS and turn the volume down for the game. I always forget to do that when I switch the because I have two different capture cards I have to switch. So I had the capture card in earlier today for the PS4 instead of the PS2 because I thought I was going to run the Roval and then I didn't, so I had to switch it back out, and the volume goes like all the way up as soon as you plug it in. There we go. Volume should be better now. Alrighty. So Kevin Harvick starting on the pole. Bobby Hamilton Jr. outside pole, the two that duked it out late at Nazareth last night. Green flag is in the air. Third straight race, Kevin Harvick starting out in front. David Green, another top 5 qualifying effort for him, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. going to get to the inside, and Kevin Harvick for the race lead in turns 3 and 4. Harvick trying to hold that race car on the outside, slides a little bit, keeps it off the wall, gets the run. Lap 1 led by Kevin Harvick by inches at the start-finish line over Bobby Hamilton. A little contact down into turn 1, and Hamilton's going to get to the lead. 3 wide on the outside is Harvick. He's going to get out of the gas, trying to let David Green go, and there's a big crash down the back straightaway off turn 2. Harvick tried to get out of the gas in time, and they piled up big time on lap 2. David Reagan thought he had cleared Harvick when he got out of the gas, didn't quite clear him, and pinched everybody into the wall. The 109 backed into the outside wall in the middle of the back straightaway, got ran into by about another 3 or 4 cars. And what an ugly start to this race for the front runners. Damage will be repaired under this pit stop for Kevin Harvick, and he will have to go to the tail. After qualifying on the pole, he did lead lap 1 by inches to get 5 bonus points on Bobby Hamilton Jr., but it is going to be a long climb to get back to the front. That is a tough break. I'm ready for the Glen today, too. Richard, welcome to the stream. Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream as well. Green flag back in the air. So lap 2, big crash off turn 2. They were 3 wide for second place. David Green, who was in the middle, thought he had Harvick clear off turn 2, pulled up, and obviously he didn't have him cleared. And there's a lot of damage on Kevin Harvick's race car right now. He got banged up pretty good in that accident. Definitely took some of the bigger licks. Bounces into the wall off turn 4 now as well. That was just getting up to speed. Harvick knows he's got a much faster car than all these guys at the back of the pack right now, and he's trying to work his way forward. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is the leader off this restart. As far as fuel goes, it'll likely be a 3 pit stop race again tonight, just like we saw at Nazareth last night. Another 200 lap event, though this track a little bit longer in length. This is a mile and a half. Nazareth was a little bit less than a mile and a half. Charlotte is the most narrow mile and a half racetrack on the schedule as well, and I think that also might have been a big factor of why there was a caution when they were 3 wide at the beginning of the race. Kind of picking up where we left off last night at Nazareth, where we had 3 cautions in the final 50 laps. David Stremme thought there was room for him to pull down. He got into Kevin Harvick after crowding him. A little contact there. David Green takes the lead now out in front. He was the one that was in that big accident. He didn't lead a lap, though, because now it looks like Dwayne Borland in the 135 car is going to get up towards the front of the field. Harvick again in the wall off turn 4. It's the second time he scraped it up there. A lot of downforce in this car this weekend. A little low of an exit off turn 2. Harvick got a little shaky again. Kyle Busch gonna get out in front. He was in a bad spot last night. Ran in the top 2 through most of the early going of the race. In the middle of green flag pit stops, we had our first caution of the race, and it actually trapped Kyle Busch a lap down because of it. He never got back on the lead lap and ended up finishing outside the top 10 because of it. He's 109. He's got a lot of damage. He's going backwards after being involved in the accident. He's back to 23rd. Surprised Harvick was the only driver who came to pit road to try and repair any damage he had. A lot of Cup Series regulars back in this race. Outside of Kevin Harvick, who is running the full season schedule for the Busch Series. Mark Martindale Jr., Matt Kenseth in the field. Saw Paul Menard in this race already as well. Sure, Greg Biffle's probably running. And there's Menard on the high side right now. 33 car. Really drove it in deep and somehow got to the inside in front of Harvick as well. Lead keeps changing hands quite a bit at the front of the field. Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s found his way back out in front again. Harvick underneath Ashton Lewis, and they're crashing again. Menard hard into the back. I should say he got ran into hard from behind by the 121. And then backed it hard into the fence on the outside. Heavy damage to his left front as well. This time the crash happens off turn 4. They stacked up. There was contact further inside the top 10, which stacked everybody up, and there's more damage now to the 21 of Harvick on the front bumper. Everybody's going to be coming onto pit road. So 2 early cautions. Everybody's going to be pitting for fuel and tires right now as well, as we're about 20 laps in. Heavy damage on Harvick's car again that is going to be repaired, and this thing's been through a war already. Pretty clean stop, 16.1 seconds. That 21 crew. A little contact off pit road between the 109 and Dale Jr. as well. Kyle Busch wins the race off pit road. He'll be out in front. Everybody came into the pits during that caution. And here comes a single file restart. Harvick's crew actually gained about 8 spots on pit road. Really quick stop for the 21 team. And he got a great restart, quickly getting around Lance Brantley in the 109 on the restart to get inside the top 10. Everybody on equal fresh tires. Oh, little contact. Oh, and they're crashing again off turn 4. Further back, somebody got punted down into the grass. That was Casey Atwood who went through a spin through the grass all of a sudden. And the 112 ended up in the outside wall after contact on corner entry with Kevin Harvick. He crowded Harvick off turn 4, tried to block him, and he got into his left front, basically put himself in the outside wall. What a wreck fest at the beginning of this one. A lot of multi-car accidents, too. And another restart. Keep having all these cautions. I don't know if we're going to get to the end of the race before our predictions podcast. My goodness. 3 of them in the first 25 laps. Oh, and they're wrecking again! Mark Martin got into the left rear of somebody after they hit the outside wall. Not once, but twice now through the quad oval. Harvick got into the back of the 9 of Martin. Stacking up the field behind. We do stay green this time. Harvick in the 7th position and more damage to the front of his race car. Mark Martin might have gotten into the... Yeah, he did get into the wall. He's still in the wall on the front stretch. Harvick gets him back for 6th. Everybody is just all over the place now, and they might have stacked up as a whole inside the top 6 off turn 4, because Harvick all of a sudden is within about 1.3 seconds when he was over 2.5 seconds off the lead. "30 laps in, we've had 3 cautions already, all multi-car accidents, and a couple of pretty big accidents as well as far as how many cars were involved. They're side by side down the back straightaway inside the top 5. Dale Jr. underneath of Kyle Busch. Kenny Wallace is the new race leader. Harvick will get around Billy Parker through 3 and 4 to move himself back inside the top 5. Little slide job there. And Dale Jr. to the race lead in turns 1 and 2. Getting around Kenny Wallace. Kyle Busch looks low. Harvick looking even lower. He'll settle in line behind Busch getting into turn 3. Trying to back the corner up. He didn't want to get pinched off again. Need to start getting some longer green flag runs in here. Harvick to the outside of Kyle Busch off turn 2. Look at the run. He got down the back straightaway. Hamilton trying to block Busch. Harvick gets to the outside of Bobby Hamilton Jr. now into turn 3. Kenny Walsh trying to work the outside as well. Dale Jr.'s up there. Harvick bounces into the wall. Busch and Hamilton get back by. Jr. leads, but he is not pulling away by any means right now. Hamilton trying to get under Kenny Wallace for second. Harvick's just as much all over the place as everybody else right now. I mean, this is just insane. I don't think anybody expected this kind of a race, especially in the beginning. Busch with a big block in the middle of the front stretch. Harvick's car is all over the place from that accident on lap 2, really. Getting squeezed into the wall by David Green. Kyle Busch again with a block, and he wasn't clear. That's how we've seen one of the other accidents happen where Kevin Harvick got blocked off turn 4 by the 112. Sent himself into the wall. Kenny Walsh going to get underneath Dale Jr. side by side for the lead. Finally, once again, Harvick on the inside of Kyle Busch off turn 4 as well. They'll clear him. Jr. back to third. Bobby Hamilton Jr. to second. Harvick underneath Dale Jr. into turn 1 for third. Hamilton goes a little wide. Harvick's going to be up to second, and he's all over the back of Kenny Walsh for the lead. Jr. follows Harvick, trying to get back to third place at least once again. Harvick a little loose getting into turn 3. Very aggressive driving by everybody so far in this race. We have had pit stops in the middle of the second caution. Harvick underneath Wallace, down the back straightaway. Oh, a little contact. Harvick lets him go. Harvick hasn't led since lap 1 after qualifying on the pole. Lap 39 right now. All over Kenny Wallace looking for the lead, and Wallace is just blocking everywhere. This is like what Hamilton was doing at the end of the race last night at Nazareth. And knowing how this race has gone so far, it might not end well. It's already a narrow track as it is, by 1.5 mile standards. That it's not making it any better. Off turn 2, Harvick looks low, way low. It's like, well, Wallace isn't going to block me down here. Got it to stick into turn 3 and clears Kenny Wallace for the race lead off turn 4. 40 laps in between the first lap led for Kevin Harvick on lap 1 and the second lap led for Harvick at lap 41. Kenny's going to be looking low as well. Wallace, a one-time winner already this season, and he actually got into the corner pretty well. Harvick going to let him go. Harvick knows he cannot stick the outside off turn 4 very well with this damage, so he decided to just let Kenny Wallace take the lead. The bumper tag there off turn 2, that broke the momentum in the 21. Dale Jr. looks high, getting into the corner. Door opened up, and again, Wallace tries to block Harvick. Little contact off turn 4. Harvick underneath Kenny Wallace. And back in the lead into turn 1. Dale Jr. going for second place. Jr. looks low for the lead off turn 2. Oh, man, barely clear with a block that time for Harvick. And Jr. will try the outside now through 3 and 4. Not going to work up there either. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. It's been a crazy race so far. We got 3 cars under a blanket battling for the lead at lap 44. Kenny Wallace did clear Jr. off of turn number 2. We got a little loose off turn 4. Kenny might have beaten him back to the gas then. These top 3 racing as hard as they are, starting to bring the 4th and 5th place cars back into it. Oh, wow, Harvick completely missed the bottom. Kenny Wallace underneath him, so is Dale Jr. Harvick has to file in line behind them both. It's Kyle Busch in 4th place, by the way, who is starting to close in. Kenny Wallace back to the lead. Go Blaney today, indeed. I got my gear on already. I'm ready. I'm missing NASCAR this first time in 3 weeks. I'm gonna see cars on the track. For the Cup Series, of course, because Truck and Xfinity already raced yesterday. Kenny Wallace aggressively blocking Dale Jr. Oh, man, Harvick tags the wall with the right rear off turn 4. Harvick trying to get underneath Dale Jr. He just can't get the power down. Damage is holding him back. Jr. going to try that middle to upper groove. A little push now from Kevin Harvick from behind. Harvick underneath Jr. for second. A little more contact. Getting into turn 1. Wallace trying to block Harvick to the inside into turn 3. Kenny Wallace is pinching the 21 of Harvick. Harvick clear at the start-finish line and back in the lead. Lap 50. Wallace going to try a little bit of a crossover. Harvick pulls down right in the middle of the corner on top of him and clears him back. So Kyle Busch was starting to close in, and now he's starting to slip away again. Wonder if we get to green flag pit stops, if anybody's going to be able to break away again. Wallace trying to take a peek. Harvick gets a little bit better run off turn 4, stays in front of him for now. Kenny Wallace is driving it extraordinarily deep into turn 3. Similar line to what Harvick did when he took the lead away from Wallace. Harvick slipped off 4. Wallace going to get underneath him. Harvick in the wall getting into turn 1 as well. He's going to lose second place on top of it. Oof, Junior tried to cross Kenny Wallace back over, but Harvick beat him to the inside. Harvick back to second place again. Just clears Junior off turn 2. Almost overdrove the center of the corner. Now we got a slow car down on the apron. Turns 3 and 4. Kevin Harvick wanted to short pit it, and that would be Kyle Busch in the 5 who has blown an engine. So problems for Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick in a short pit right now. 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. He's going to do something different here on the 23 and the 8 as he could not break away even when getting to the race lead. It's a good thing Harvick cleared Kyle Busch when he did off turn 4 as well, with Busch having that blown engine. So this is a risky move. Harvick is going to be a lap down. He's going to have about 35 lap pressure tires once he gets up to speed. He'll morph in line behind Ashton Lewis getting into turn 3 as he tries to get up to speed right now. That'll repair more damage for the 21 as well. Just to hit the wall off turn 4 as he's getting up to speed. My goodness. This has not been an easy racetrack for anybody today. Harvick needs to find a way around Ashton Lewis because he knows he's faster with fresher tires. Drive it extremely deep underneath Lewis off turn 4. Lewis trying to side draft him there on the front stretch. Harvick's fresher tires prevail. He'll clear him. So the only driver we know of for sure that is out of the race is Kyle Busch. One of the championship frontrunners coming into this one today. And actually, he is the only driver out of the race because Harvick's at 42nd right now, the only other car a lap down. I guess the good thing is if we do get a caution, Harvick would get the free pass. Being the only driver 1 lap down. As long as they don't get the lap traffic first, of course. It's going to be a while before everybody else pits. Harvick trying to split that run in half. This is an older surface. It was repaved in 2005 and then repaved in 2006. This is the 2004 season. So this is the last year before the repave at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Martin pinched Kevin Harvick off big time in turns 1 and 2. Everybody's pinching everybody off in this one. My goodness. No wonder we had 3 cautions in the first 30 laps. Things are more spaced out now, though, with this longest green flag run of the race so far than what we have seen up to this point so far today. Harvick wants to find a way to get around Mark Martin. He just can't quite do it right now. Trying to get underneath him and does, but look at how low he is because Mark Martin's not letting him in. Where's my Menards? I actually thought about wearing that shirt today. I wanted to save it for Indy next week in case Laundry was behind during the week because I'll be leaving for Indianapolis next weekend. Go to the Brickyard 400. The Menard name is famous with that racetrack, so I figured I'd end up wearing that shirt next weekend. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. It's definitely running down Bobby Hamilton Jr. for position. On the back straightaway, Harvick will get underneath Bobby Hamilton. Pass him getting into turn 3. So Harvick's already pitted for fuel and tires twice in this race. Now, if we didn't have a caution at all, we'd be seeing our first stops right now. These cautions really shook things up early. He is definitely closing in pretty quickly on Dale Jr. and Kenny Wallace. Wallace has led quite a bit in this race early on. Definitely looking like one of the faster cars in the field here today. He's doing a great job holding off Dale Earnhardt Jr. of all drivers behind him. Well, I figured it was still a 3 pit stop race to the finish. So we were going to have to short pit at some time. And I just decided to go off strategy by short pitting during the first stop instead of the last one. So now we have 2 pit stops left to the end, as will everybody else. Playing the game, hoping it stays green for quite some time, though, for him to cycle back up there with the leaders. Hopefully off strategy at one point. Get some time to run some consistent laps, too, and really try to get more familiar with the car since it's damaged back on lap 2. Junior's closed in on Kenny Wallace. He's looking for the lead again into turn 1. Wallace holds him off for now. Dale Jr. going to try it again down the back straightaway, it looks like. Does he have the run to get underneath Kenny? Nope, not quite. Wallace again shuts the door. He's running about a half a lane off the bottom. Dale Jr. is hogging that white line in the center of the corners. And Harvick's right there on fresher tires behind them both. 35 lap fresher tires. He's looking to get around him and just pull him. They're battling for the lead, so they're not just going to let Harvick go. Wallace protecting the bottom, giving Dale Jr. the outside. Jr. tried the outside, but Harvick got underneath him quickly. Now there's a lap car between the top two. And Jr.'s losing ground on Kenny Wallace until Harvick gets back around the 23. Wallace really crowded Harvick there. And into turn one, he holds on in front of him. Trying to keep the 21 car lap down. Blocking like Harvick's battling him for the lead. Harvick way down low. Oh, a little too low getting into turn three. Harvick was just trying to get away from Wallace was the big thing there. Drives it deep into turns 1 and 2. Can he clear Kenny Wallace off turn 2? Yes, he does. Harvick a little loose getting into 3. And he's about a half a lane off the bottom with Kenny Wallace trying to stick to that white line that time. Harvick's going to stay in front of him, and with these fresher tires should pull away. He's back on the lead lap. Got a lot of clean air in front of him, too. I think Kyle Busch was still in 4th place when he blew an engine, too. So that's 2 straight finishes outside the top 10, despite being in the top 5 with a very, very strong car early on. Both really out of his control. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time here this afternoon. Harvick gets closer to the back of the lead lap. We'll start passing cars for position now. Harvick will easily cycle back to the lead when everybody does pit. Then he'll start to give some of that time back up again until he'll have to pit for his second green flag stop. It'll be the 3rd total. And everybody did pit during the caution back at lap 20. He's got a pretty good run down the back straightaway. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 3. That was a little close for comfort. Harvick did not want to be 3 wide there. They merge off turn 4, and he clears them both cleanly. And there you see the damage on the front of the 21. They tried to work on it as best as they can, but being involved in that accident lap 2, I don't think they were ever going to fully repair it. They'll keep working on it those final 2 pit stops of the race. The 19 car really holding Harvick hostage down on the inside off turn 4. back straightaway again. Trying to hold him up like Kenny Wallace was earlier. The difference is the 119 is a lot slower than Kenny Wallace, so he couldn't do it as long. And now we're going to start seeing some more drivers hit pit road with some green flag pit stops. Lap 80. 81 for race leader Kenny Wallace, who up to this point has led the most laps. At least with this strategy, too, Harvick will lead quite a few laps himself, trying to catch up to the amount of laps like Kenny Wallace had. Wow, huge line of traffic coming to pit road at the back of the pack right there. That's going to clear up a lot of traffic for Harvick. He only had to pass one car, and he got around him and cleared him off turn 4. Race leader Kenny Wallace in the pits, followed by second place Dale Jr. also coming in. These guys are going to have about 25 lap pressure tires. They cycle off a pit road comparative to Kevin Harvick. Ashton Lewis still on the racetrack. He'll get 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Well, 17 pulls onto pit road. Harvick barely cleared that lap car off turn 4. Ooh, 168 pulling down low. I think he's going to try to come to pit road. Harvick had to get out of the gas. He almost got chopped off again. Go to the high side through 3 and 4. Yep, the 168 is coming in, so he wanted to make sure he was clear out of the way for when he didn't make that huge left-hand turn. Ashton Lewis still out there on the racetrack, logging in more laps led. He'll stay out another lap and get another one led this time by. Lap 85 for the leaders. Almost halfway home. A little bit of a slow start to the race, but the race pace is starting to catch back up slowly. Ashton Lewis finally makes the turn to pit road. Looks like Billy Parker is going to stay out and get 5 bonus points. He'll lead a lap that time by. So Harvick still won't quite be the leader. Not sure how many more cars still. Just one, I guess. Billy Parker, the last driver out on the racetrack. About 13 seconds ahead of Kevin Harvick right now. And Parker will pit this time off turn 4. So he stayed out just a lap longer than Ashton Lewis. That's all the further he could go on fuel. Enough to get that lap led in. And Kevin Harvick will cycle to the lead. Parker going to get a second lap led on pit road there. So at lap number 88 will be the official lead change for Harvick to take the race lead. We'll see how big of a lead he's going to have once everybody else gets up to second place. Well, 9.5 seconds right now separate the top two. Harvick has now 25 lap older tires than the rest of the field. So they're going to slowly run him back down, I'd have to imagine, once again. So they're battling through lap traffic. And caution! Right after green flag pit stops have cycled through, caution's out at lap number 87. Oh, car on his lid! Off turn 4, the 109. And gets hammered by Kenny Wallace. He was on his side, on the driver's side door, skating across turn 4. And now Harvick's gonna pit here and give up that track position to get back on the same strategy as the leaders. So he'll give up the race lead. He'll come to pit road. And it should be a one pit stop race from here on out for him. Our fourth caution of the race. Went on Project Cars 2. Cool. Cool down lap. I was doing victory celebration. Went into the pit lane the wrong way and it DNF'd me. Oh, jeez. That's terrible. Talk about NASCAR Heat 5 having its glitches. Dale Jr. will be the new leader. There's some heavy damage to Kenny Wallace's car. Surprised he didn't come into pit road. It's the second accident the 109 car has been involved in of the first 4 in the first half of tonight's race. Green flag back in the air. Jr. leads the field to the green. So we got about 23 cars on the lead lap. So the field's almost split in half with cars that are allowed down and cars on the lead lap. Oh, the lap cars line up to the inside of the lead lap cars. Harvick's all the way at the tail of the field again. Pretty much an even double file restart through most of the pack. And there's probably going to be a stack up off turn 4 that Harvick's going to anticipate here. Well, they made it through that time. David Green trying to block Harvick. So now everybody's right back on the same strategy again. Harvick underneath David Green. Just waiting for these guys to stack up again. They haven't done it yet off turn 4, but they've done it every restart so far, and we've had a couple cautions after restarts because of it. Harvick getting around a lot of these slower cars at the back of the field, and he's inside the top 20 once again. And again, they make it off turn 4. Oh, Harvick slides up the track. He's 3 wide middle, getting into turn 1. Billy Parker to the inside. Just able to keep off one another. Harvick holds in on the outside, side drafts Billy Parker, beats him back to the gas, and gets the drive off the banking down the back straightaway now. In line behind Casey Atwood in the 14, Mike Bliss in the 20. Oh, man, I think they did stack up a little bit off turn 4. Harvick braked pretty heavily off turn 4. Lost about a half a second, but he did not want to stack the field back up again. And Billy Parker gets around him off the high side. Harvick going to try once more to get around Parker. Parker slides up, cutting the momentum off of the 21. I don't think it was a glitch, should have known. What series were you in that it did that? think it was Bristol a couple nights ago, now I'm thinking about it, that we saw a car flip in the Cup Series on this game. Of all racetracks, I was in our Food City 500 race, and I saw somebody flip off turn 4. It was a complete barrel roll, but it was definitely on his side sliding. Terrible place to get hit there by Kenny Walsh as well, underneath the race car. Such an awkward spot to get hit. Kenny Walsh just had nowhere to go. Mark Martin is now leading this race for the first time off turn 4, getting around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Harvick got a huge run, goes to the outside of the 14 of Casey Atwood. Three wide. Atwood made a nice three wide pass on Manny Brown, or sorry, not Manny Brown. I saw Manny Brown up there. One of the generated cars, and then the 12 of Tim Fedewa as well. Was in the middle lane, and Casey Atwood's moving forward. He was at the back of the pack on this restart in front of Kevin Harvick. He's even beating Harvick through this traffic. Atwood went for a spin during the third caution of the race earlier, went through the grass. I don't think he picked up a whole lot of damage. Atwood trying to get underneath the 10 of Terry Cook. He's there. Have the advantage into turn 1. Slid up the track to clear Cook. Bottom open. Harvick over driving 1 and 2. So he couldn't clear Atwood. He was still on the outside of Harvick into turn 3. Harvick clears him. That was a game I definitely thought about getting a while back when it came out. Bobby Hamilton Jr. back to the lead. Now he's gotten around Mark Martin that last lap. Harvick on the outside of Hermie Sadler into turns 1 and 2. Not sure if that's going to work out for Harvick. A little contact, a little rub. The 0-2 of Sadler. Underneath Stremme off turn 4. Thought they were about to stack up in front of the 21 off turn 4 again. Mostly single file. There's a couple cars side by side at the front of the field. Dale Jr. just took the race lead with that move. Another 2x2 off turn 2 all of a sudden. My goodness. Oh, wow. That was a big block by Menard on his teammate while trying to pass another one of his teammates. All three of the RCR cars, 8th through 10th right now. Oh, Hornaday got loose and Harvick just missed him. On the outside, he had to scrape the wall to get around him, but he had zero room, and he had to make it. Menard got to the brakes in time, and all three RCR cars just about crashed off turn 4. That was a hold your breath moment. My goodness. How did they make it through there? I don't even think any one of them hit each other either. Harvick scraped the wall, but that was about it. I think he'll take that, because that could have been a lot worse. Wow, that's pretty cheap. $8. Borland put a big block on Harvick, and Harvick gets out of shape now into turn 1 after getting cut off. My goodness. The second half of the race is upon us finally, but still one pit stop away from the finish. What has just been really an unpredictable race, I think is the best way to describe it. Since the drop of the green flag, we had a caution in lap 2. We had 4 in the first 90 laps, 3 in the first 30. All big accidents. A near miss just a few laps ago with all 3 of the RCR cars. There's a little contact inside the top 5 now off turn 4. They made it. Harvick underneath Kenseth. Haven't really seen Kenseth a whole lot today, but he's inside the top 10. Drops back a spot to 7. Ooh, Harvick into the back of Ashton Lewis. Lewis is in the wall now, middle of the front stretch. Oh, and he gets into it again. Contact with Matt Kenseth back down the racetrack. Getting into turn 1, he closed in so quickly. Borland clears Harvick off turn 2 as well. Harvick back to the inside of Borland down the back straightaway. Into turn 3. He'll complete the pass. In line now again behind Matt Kenseth in the 17, who is now in the top 5. Kenseth left a little bit of the bottom open, just enough for Harvick to get a nose in there. Kenseth gets a little bit better drive off. And he'll block Harvick down the back straightaway. He was just able to clear him. Dale Jr. back out in front. I don't know how many different drivers have led in this race, let alone the lead changes itself. It's been insane. Nobody has broken away at all in this race. And the chance that we could have seen that happen, we had a caution literally right after green flag pit stop cycled through. Harvick underneath Kenseth off turn 4. Trying to make the pass. Oh, he ran out of room. Kenseth didn't give him a whole lot of room. He could have pinched him more, but Harvick had to keep from getting all the way in the grass and had to let Kenseth go. Side by side between Kenny Wallace and Bobby Hamilton Jr. for third. Kenny Wallace will clear. Off turn 4, Harvick inside of Matt Kenseth. Kenseth got a little loose. Harvick will clear him before they get into turn 1. Dale Jr. blocking Mark Martin for the race lead. Hamilton didn't even attempt to block Harvick that time, and Harvick blows past him getting into 3. Let him go. Harvick to 4th. It's top 4 cars within a half a second of the race lead. Martin going to look low into turn 1 on Junior. Now he slides up the racetrack. May have overdrove the corner just a hair. Couldn't get underneath the 8. Kevin Harvick, meanwhile, underneath Kenny Wallace for 3rd. Martin looking for the lead underneath Dale Jr. He is there. Harvick going to follow Martin to second. Junior back to third off turn 4. And Mark Martin leads again here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Harvick going to be extraordinarily patient right here behind Mark Martin. See if maybe the two cars can get away a little bit because they are slowly pulling Dale Jr. and Kenny Wallace. Left a lot of bottom open that time, but Harvick just couldn't quite get underneath him. Down the back straightaway, Harvick just gets to the inside. Martin trying to squeeze him. Getting into turns 3 and 4. Oh, Harvick a little loose off 4 now. Martin still with a block. Harvick gets into the wall. Off turn 4, Martin slid up just a little bit. Harvick underneath him, contact. Martin, oh no, Junior drives it into Harvick, and they're both into the inside wall. Sliding up the racetrack now. Into the outside wall. Everybody misses to the inside. And another accident. Our 5th caution of the race. Junior stays out of the pits for some reason. He hit the inside wall a lot harder than Harvick did. About 5 seconds worth of damage here for Kevin Harvick. He is lucky to still be running in this race. So he got into Mark Martin. They were slower. Junior just got to the inside getting into turn 1. Kind of poked his nose in there very late. Harvick didn't see him. Junior kind of maybe came up a little bit as Harvick was coming down. It was just a racing deal, and both of them wrecked. Harvick has heavy damage. He wanted to repair it as much as possible, and now he's at the tail end of the field again after leading only a few laps tonight. Two by two through the tri-oval. The quad oval, I should say. On the front stretch here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Dale Jr. leads the race. Still 1 pit stop to the finish. About halfway on fuel for Kevin Harvick. Mark Martin again in the race lead. The Cup Series regular doesn't win this race. I'd like to think that Kenny Wallace is going to win it because he has looked really strong today as well. Yeah, I've heard that Project Cars 2 is about as close to sim racing as you could get without it actually being sim racing. Pretty wide. Oh, and there's the stack up off turn 4. Harvick going to go through the grass to try and miss everybody. He still clips the 22. And they just about wrecked. Wrong place at the wrong time for Jason Keller. Harvick tried to gun him when he got into the grass. Shot him sideways when he tried to pull back up and made contact with Keller, pitching somebody else into the wall. Harvick still trying to catch his race car in front of David Green. Tim Fiedel right behind him as well. Tell you what, the last 50 laps of last night's race at Nazareth got pretty sloppy. This entire race has been sloppy. I don't even know if that's a fair bet, Tim. I just don't know. With all the things we've got trying to finish up NASCAR Heat 5 and everything, I just really don't have time to stream other games outside of, these two. The only reason I really stream these NASCAR 05 races a lot of the time is just the Busch and the truck and the modified series because they're a lot shorter. I can run them nights I have to work. It gives me more time. I'm not up super, super late on a couple hours of sleep going into work the next day. If I were to do the Cup Series for either Heat 5 or 05 on a work night, I likely wouldn't get it done. I knew Bristol I could get done. That was the next race on NASCAR 05. That's why I did it a couple nights ago. But outside of that, it's difficult. Harvick is just out of shape with this race car. Even in the middle of the front stretch, it just gets super light. This car's all sorts of beat up. Casey Atwood again kind of fell back on the restart, and he's trying to charge forward. Harvick in line behind him for now. A little contact getting into turn 1. And a couple cars just outside the top 10. J.J. Haley and whoever's in front of him right now, couldn't tell. David Stremme in 32. Harvick gets around Casey Atwood. And now we have a lot of drivers coming into pit road trying to short pit. Led down by Ron Hornaday in the 2. Kenny Wallace is in the outside wall right now. Bounces off the wall again. So there's another stack up off turn 4 because of it. A lot of the cars got around him. Harvick checked up and just fell in line behind Wallace. So after challenging for the lead, he is now back to 8th. Trying to get down low. He might want to try to come into pit road this time. Harvick will get around him for now. And Kenny Wallace does make his way onto pit road. Figured I just hit the wall. Let's bring it on into the pits. These are the final stops of the day for everybody short pitting. Oh, Hamilton trying to block Harvick. Getting into turn one, both cars save it. And Hamilton barely kept it off the outside wall as well. Aggressive almost went around. Everybody's just been driving in over their heads here today. All the cautions that have come out so far, I did not trust that we were going to go to the rest of this race caution-free for a little over a 70-lap green flag run to the finish. So Harvick definitely does not want a short pit here. He's willing to stay out as long as he can. Picks for today are Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell with a wild card pick. Not bad, not bad. I did see Bell and Elliott have to start at the rear today, though. It's making me contemplate my race pick. I was originally going to pick Chase Elliott, and I'm thinking about changing it. I know he started at the back and won at Road America, but only 2 drivers in NASCAR history in the Cup Series have started outside the top 30 and won on a road course, and Chase Elliott was one of those guys this year at Road America. So the fact that it could be done 3 times if Elliott wins today, or Bell wins today, but if Elliott does it, it can be done 3 times, and he will have done it twice this season. I just don't think the odds are with him there. Letting the statistics get in my head more than Chase Elliott's road course driving talent. I don't think I'm completely wrong for it. Oh, problems. Ashton Lewis has just blown an engine while running in second place, and he's going to drop to the back. Down the back straightaway, trying to stay out of the way. And he'll have to limp his car to pit road now. Harvick underneath his teammate Menard off turn 4. Clear. Harvick the second. Really good run into turn 1 now underneath Mark Martin for the lead. Harvick is going to get there. 21 car out in front. He's been involved in a couple accidents today. He has survived. And he now leads with just over 50 laps to go. Mark Martin comes into the pits after just losing the lead that time, leaving the RCR cars of Kevin Harvick and Paul Menard running 1-2. Menard got a really big run off turn 4. He's going to get to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Where did that speed come from the 33 car? And Paul Menard leads at Lowe's Motor Speedway We'll see if he'll lead his first lap of the race this time by at the start-finish line. I think he's going to. 5 bonus points for Paul Menard. He has taken the lead with 52 laps to go. Get hard for Menard in the chat. Paul Menard leads at Charlotte for the first time today. He still has to pit, so does Kevin Harvick. Harvick back to the inside of Menard, getting into 3. Harvick gets a little loose. Menard trying to squeeze him. Now he moves up the track, and Harvick's clear off turn 4. Well, Menard led 1 lap. That's going to be it. Harvick back to the lead. I don't know where that speed came from Menard, that he just closed in so quickly, and Harvick couldn't make the block. Had to let his teammate go. Menard slips up the track at turns 3 and 4. Ooh, both cars almost ended up in the wall off 4. "50 laps to go." Menard looks low off 2. Oh, Harvick got out of shape. He's in the wall. Menard back to the lead again. Harvick ran out of room. He's trying to do everything he can to keep it off the 33. He wants to race clean, knowing their teammates. When will Menard and Harvick pit? We have less than 50 to go. A lot of the field has already pit. Harvick a little loose getting into turn 1. These two are driving the heck out of their race cars. Harvick going to try the outside through 3 and 4. Hasn't really worked well up here all day. And Paul Menard going to come into the pit, so I guess it was better for Harvick to run the top side that time. Harvick back to the lead. Menard will give it up. Coming onto pit road, giving Harvick a pretty big lead now. Don't think Harvick's the last car that still has to pit. He's got about a 6.7 second lead. Into the wall again, getting into turn 3. That's going to wear the right side tires out a little more. Harvick's actually got a 1-lap lead on the field. Harvick is just out of shape into turn 1. He cannot hold on to that race car. He's got a 1-lap lead on the field. Just kind of waiting to see if we end up getting that caution. With that, he's got the oldest tires in the field. I mean, he stayed out this long. I think you have to be committed to staying out to the end of the run now. That way, at least you can get some sort of an advantage at the end of the race on maybe a little bit fresher tires. Harvick hasn't led a whole lot of laps today, so he's going to lead more with this as well. A lot of lead changes and a lot of different leaders, so maybe there is still a chance he can lead the most laps. Harvick's going to have to pit in a couple laps anyway, it looks like. Probably with about 40 laps to go, maybe a little less than that. Yeah, there's been a ton of crashes, all of them big for the most part. So one car flip earlier, the 109. Had 5 cautions so far. If it does go green to the end, it'll be about a 73-lap green flag run to the finish, which would be the longest green flag run of the race. All 4 tires are in the yellow as far as the tire wear goes. We'll have 40 laps to go this time by. Harvick going to stay out this time. They'll pit the following time. So Harvick will pit with 40 laps left, which will give him 39 laps to go when he comes off of pit road. We'll have to see where he'll cycle through. He was in about 12th when the pit stop started. So I highly doubt he's going to cycle to the lead. It's going to have to be a 4-tire stop. Repair whatever damage they can, because it could be the money stop, and this should give Dale Jr. the race lead. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. Got to make sure he doesn't speed. Gained about as much time as he could coming into the pit zone. Half a round of wedge going to be put into the car to tighten it up just a hair. That'll be the only adjustments for the 21 team they've made really all day outside of damage repair. Oh, and the Jackman falls over coming around to the front of the race car, and there's already problems on the money stop for Kevin Harvick and his crew. Not what they wanted to see, and they're going to lose major track position now, well outside the top 10 by the time he gets up to speed. He's going to be in 12th. That was a costly error on pit road for Kevin Harvick. Oh, my goodness. I was trying to look down at the replay to see what the pit speed time was. So 17.995 second pit stop for Kevin Harvick and his crew. And the mistake coming out of the pits by Harvick as well. Giving him about 8.7 seconds off the lead of Dale Jr. He's going to have about 15 lap fresher tires to try and get the job done. She'll have a faster car for about 15 laps, and then those tires are going to even out. Junior's got clean air, too. He doesn't have any lap traffic in front of him for the moment. If we stay green to the end of the race, we should have lap traffic. Dwayne Borland in the 135. First car Harvick's going to catch here. Just got to pass these cars as quick as he can, but as cleanly as he can. Clears Borland at the start-finish line for 11th. Remember, this is an older surface at Charlotte Motor Speedway, or Lowe's Motor Speedway at this time period as well. This is the last year before the repave in the 2004 season. So 15 lap fresher tires. Might feel like more than that if we were at, versus if we were at another racetrack. Like this was almost what Atlanta levels are nowadays. Not quite that bad, but I'd probably compare it more to like a Homestead. far as how much the tire wear is here. Homestead or Las Vegas, but it does matter. Dale Jr. pretty much all by himself. He had a much faster stop than everybody else to try and break away from the pack. Casey Atwood trying to block Harvick into turn 3 now. Harvick looking to pass him for 10. Atwood trying to pinch Harvick and side draft him. Down the front stretch, Harvick a little late. Drives it deep into 1, clears him. In the center of the corner. Harvick to 10th. These guys are battling hard as they have all day long. Can't imagine it's going to be easy for Harvick to get through these cars and try to challenge for the race lead. After that errant pit stop. Harvick's about 0.2 of a second off from where he was at his fastest in this race with all the damage, and even his fastest was with a little bit of damage, but even more after that caution with Dale Jr. and Jr. still able to get to the lead with that quick pit stop that he and his crew had. Not sure if he's pulling away from second place or not. We know he's definitely not pulling away from Harvick right now. Fresher tire still working out in Harvick's favor for the moment, though, as well. He's definitely cutting into that deficit a little bit. David Stremme in the 32, right in front of Harvick. Junior wasn't even within those drivers to pit first either. Still had a pretty fast stop to get where he's at in the race lead. Well, Menard cycled back out to 8th. He was one of the last cars to pit, along with Kevin Harvick, but even Harvick stayed out a good 10 laps longer than him, and that's why he cycled so far behind him. Had to imagine the Jackman falling probably costed about 3 to 4 seconds on the pit stop. He still would have came out well behind Dale Jr., but he will have been about caught up by now. Pretty close to it. Instead, he's still about 4.5 seconds off the race lead. Going to be late for the pre-race predictions. Well, that's because all the cautions we had at the beginning of this race slowing the race pace down. If we would have went closer to a caution-free race, we would have gotten done probably 5-10 minutes before. But that's okay. As long as we get it started by 2:30, that'll give me plenty of time to get everything ready to go by the time the race starts today. Make sure I give you guys my full in-depth analysis still. Harvick cannot find his way around Paul Menard right now. Under turn 4, gets around Menard. A couple more laps and those tires are going to be even between the 21 and the 8. Jr. still got clean air in front of him. Not so much for Harvick. We'll get underneath Hermie Sadler into turn 3. Make a quick pass on him for 7th. That was needed. See if he can make a quick pass now on Bobby Hamilton Jr. as well for position. Hamilton blocks him off turn 4. Not going to happen. Harvick gets loose up the track. Barely keeps it off the wall. Hermie Sadler going to get back around him. Great catch by the 21 car. That was a close call. But now he's going to have to pass Hermie Sadler again. And obviously lost a little bit of time. He's about 3.6 off the lead, back to 3.9. Those tires are about even now between the 8 and the 21 now, so it's going to be tough to run him down the rest of this race. He's going to need Junior to catch some heavy lap traffic, and for right now, again, he's not even in lap traffic at all. Sadler fighting back. He gets to the inside of Bobby Hamilton Jr. in turns 1 and 2. They're side by side, so Harvick going to pull up closer to both of them. Oh no, he got into Hermie. Contact with Hermie Sadler. Went to turn down and he timed it a little late. Costed Sadler a chance to get around Bobby Hamilton Jr. for position. Ron Hornaday way up the racetrack on the outside in turns 3 and 4. Bunch of cars under a blanket, all battling for position. Allowing Jr. to likely get away just a little bit more. Harvick cannot get back around Hermie Sadler. Sadler going to go low. Harvick going to try to go to the outside through 3 and 4. He's getting desperate now. Hamilton blocked Sadler off getting into turn 3. Harvick actually held the outside well off turn 4. You can't really say he's done that at all today. And he's going to clear Hermie Sadler. Well, no, he hasn't cleared him yet. Back through turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he'll clear him down the back straightaway. Harvick on the outside gets around Hermie Sadler. That was impressive. It took a lap to fully get it working. He's going to try it again through 3 and 4, maybe on Bobby Hamilton Jr. now. Didn't quite work on him. Probably going to have to find a way to get to the bottom on him. Maybe Sadler was just slow enough that he was able to get around him much quicker. Now he's underneath Bobby Hamilton Jr. off turn 2. Hamilton got maybe a little tight in the center of the corner. Hornaday looking inside of Matt Kenseth for position meanwhile, and Harvick is really closing in on these guys. Drives it deep under Kenny Walls, who was stuck on the outside. Hornaday going to let his teammate go. So Hornaday, a team player, off turn 4, holding up Kenny Wallace, lets his teammate Harvick go. Harvick's up to 4th. We got 4 Cup Series regulars running 1 through 4. Dale Jr. leads, Mark Martin in 2nd, followed by Matt Kenseth 3rd, Kevin Harvick 4th. Kenseth trying to block Harvick. He's also trying to get underneath the 9 of Mark Martin. I think these guys are slowly starting to close in on Dale Jr. Junior's lap time's not as quick as they once were. Martin Kenseth and Harvick are pulling away from Hornaday and everybody else behind him, as well as catching Dale Jr. They're running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack. Staying single file, because they can't get around one another. Kenseth's going to try the outside. Harvick gets underneath him, and Harvick makes the pass now on Kenseth for 3rd. Junior still hasn't really even caught lap traffic. Harvick underneath Mark Martin for 2nd place, just 1 second off the race lead. 15 laps to go at Lowe's Motor Speedway this time by Harvick to 2nd. Kenseth now underneath Martin for 3rd. Kenseth going to clear him for 3rd place. Yeah, predictions podcast going to start at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time today. Everybody is good on fuel and tires to the end. And Junior now has lap traffic in front of him down the back straightaway. And they're side by side. That is not good for Dale Jr., allowing Harvick to close in into turn 3. Both cars going to move up. Junior trying to get the car to stick to the inside. He couldn't do it. And Harvick is all over Dale Jr.'s back bumper now. 13 laps to go. Both lap cars holding up now, each of the top 2. Nowhere for Junior to go. Really nowhere for Harvick to go either. Both on the outside for the moment. Junior gets to the outside of the 157. Harvick going to go way down low. Junior crisscrosses to the inside of the 128 now. Oh, Harvick got into the back of the lap car. And Junior's going to hold on to the lead. Definitely bought Junior a little bit of time. Tires are even out at this point in the run. Harvick is all the way down low. Junior trying to pinch him off into turn 3. Down to the wire. And we've got a lot more heavy lap traffic coming up. The score is not settled yet. Can't find a way to get around Dale Jr. Trying to back up turn 3 now. He's going to get underneath Dale Jr. up turn 4, coming to 10 to go. Almost making contact. Junior tries to side draft Harvick, and Harvick is clear with 10 laps left into turn 1. 21 car back in the lead. And the 2 that wrecked earlier are 1-2 late. Both with a shot to win, but we have about 5 or 6 lap cars right in front of the 2 leaders. I don't know how the 109 car of Lance Brantley's still in this thing. Look at Junior trying to claw back. Looking to get to the inside of Harvick, and Harvick got loose on the front stretch, and Junior's going to get back to the lead. Harvick lost a lot of time there. Junior's caught the lap traffic. 8 laps to go for the 8 car. It's underneath. They're trying to stay out of these leaders' ways as much as possible, but they're, for the most part, all single file on the outside. Now they're side by side right in front of Dale Jr. through 3 and 4. Held him up just enough. Junior got a little loose off turn 4 as well. 7 to go. Harvick again to the back bumper. He's going to have to follow him through these next couple lap cars into 1 and 2 on the inside of the racetrack. More side-by-side traffic in front of Dale Jr. You're going to try to go all the way up high. Harvick wanted to as well. Junior in the wall off 4, and that allows Harvick to get to the lead. Now Junior makes the mistake off 4, much like Harvick did. The 168 crosses over the 132. Holding Harvick up, Junior to the outside. Almost got to the lead. Now he crosses back to the bottom. Lap cars in front of Harvick. Harvick gets picked behind him. He gets into Dale Jr. Junior gets loose. Harvick gets loose. Harvick got ran into by the 119 now, and here comes Matt Kenseth. Five to go. Harvick stuck on the outside. Kenseth to the lead. Harvick again gets squeezed, and Matt Kenseth in prime position like he was at California is now leading late. After the 8 and the 21 made contact again. Not even sure where Dale Jr.'s at. Kenseth's still got a ton of lap traffic around him. Coming to 3 to go. Coming to 2 laps to go. Harvick's not really closing in on Matt Kenseth. The lap cars are trying to stay out of the way as much as possible. They're side by side in front of Kenseth again, though, and they're slowing him up, much like they were with Dale Jr. earlier. Kenseth on the outside. He's got 2 lap cars on the bottom, 1 on the outside right in front of him as well. Harvick trying to close slowly but surely. He's going to go way down low with a run. Looking to go 3 wide, but he got pinched off. Couldn't do it. Kenseth still stuck up high. Harvick to the lead. Oh, he gets into the 152. He's stuck on him now. And Kenseth's going to get to the bottom of the track. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. And Kenseth back to the lead again. Harvick trying to cross him over. Kenseth got the run off the high side. He's slipping away into turn 3. Lap car in the way, but not quite. He lets the leaders go. Harvick tries to charge one more time off turn 4, but Matt Kenseth is going to win his 2nd race of the year and get the win at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. By just less than 1/10 of a second, Matt Kenseth will win at Charlotte. Harvick comes up a very close 2nd. And we'll take a look at the rest of the finishing results quickly here. Kenseth with another late race victory on Harvick this season. And I believe the last 2 races Kenseth has ran now at California. And now at Charlotte, he has won. So Matt Kenseth with the win, 4 laps led in this race. That's it for him. Harvick 2nd, Mark Martin 3rd, Dale Jr. fell back to 4th, and Ron Hornaday rounds out the top 5. Kenny Wallace 6th, Bobby Hamilton Jr. 7th, Hermie Sadler 8th, Paul Menard 9th, and David Stremme rounds out the top 10. And we had 21 drivers finish on the lead lap, 5 cautions for 15 caution laps, 44 lead changes. My goodness. Quite a bit in a 200 lap race that's not on a super speedway. My oh my. That's a big win for Kenseth. So last lap pass 2 races in a row. Harvick made a last lap pass on Bobby Hamilton Jr. for the win last night at Nazareth. And then Kenseth gets the last lap pass on Harvick today at Charlotte. Next race going to be at Dover for the MBNA America 200. And I believe we go to the Dodge Raceway after that. Quarter-mile bull rank with these 43 Busch Series cars. That's going to be just crazy there as well. Take a look at the updated point standings. And once we take a look at the point standings, we're going to get on out of here because we've got our predictions coming up here in less than 10 minutes. So Kevin Harvick is the points leader by just 12 points over Bobby Hamilton Jr. Kyle Busch still third in points after a DNF today, but he is 103 back now. He had blown an engine early in the race, unfortunately. Ron Hornaday is very close behind him in fourth, though. J.J. Yaley's still 120 points back. He's having a quiet but good season. And David Stremme also with them 190 points. The top 6 still there, even after 13 races now. All right, there we go. Another good race, or at least a good finish. Somehow we went the final 73 laps under green after 5 cautions up to that point. The first 123 laps, or 24, I guess, technically, when the caution came out. We had 5 yellows, and they were a lot of big wrecks, and thought it was going to be that kind of a finish to the race, too. A complete polar opposites of last night's race at Nazareth, which started clean. We only had 1 caution in the first 150 laps, and we had 3 in the last 5. And then today we had 3 in the first 30, and then kind of fizzled out a little bit there middle of the race. And by the end, we didn't have a lot of cautions at the end of the race, at least. So, yeah, that's going to do it. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Predictions video for Watkins Glen coming up very shortly. We'll do a live commentary for the Watkins Glen race, not actually at Watkins Glen. Here today for the Cup Series as well. So tune in for both of those streams coming up here next on a big day on the channel. Still continuing. Thanks, everybody, for your support. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, as always. I'll catch you guys in a little bit.